Coming live from the 215, it's your boy ROCKIIN the WCC Ring Rockers, the show where the music and wrestling talk never stop. And tonight, we are continuing our March Madness with the celebration of one of the most epic matches in WrestleMania history. Of course, I'm talking Heartbreak Kid Shawn Michaels, the bad guy REESE Ramon, their epic WrestleMania 10 ladder match. And joining me on the telephone line right now, I was going to expect my co-host, the Canadian Goose Rob Gosling, but apparently he's right now. But I do have Mr. Friday Night, Mr. 3 Weeks on the top. That's what she said. Doug Barrett. Dougie, how you doing?
I'm doing good tonight, and I can tell you where the Canadian Goose is. I sent up some of the people who work for me on the main event. They kind of kidnapped him, and you'll get him back next week.
Yeah. All right. And then, anyway, I was just wondering, do you have anybody else on right now?
No, because I believe the next I think Elf hanged up, so.
Yeah. All right, well, since we got a little bit of time, let's see. Hey, you know what? I'll take us to the event center first, since it's just me and you for now. Because as we always do, WCC reminds you to support and defend your local independent wrestling companies. And first of all, I want to talk about a real special deal. I got to give a shout out to my boys at George's Cards and Collectibles, because we got an epic deal going on right now. Starting Saturday, March 29th, we could go meet former WWE superstar Rikishi at the Georgia store at the Oxford Valley Mall. And then on April 5th, you can meet the man they call Vader. That's right, Big Van Vader will be there April 5th. And then Saturday, April 12th, hello! Hacksaw Jim Duggan will be in the house. Now, for pictures or autographs, it'll be $15. If you want both a picture and autograph, it'll be $20. That's just if you want to meet one or two of the superstars, if you can't make all three shows. Now, if you can make all three, then we got a little deal for you. For $50, you can get a picture and autograph from all three superstars. That's a pretty sick deal. If you want to learn more about it, go to georgescollectibles.com to find out where they are. And see you at the Oxford Valley Mall. It's 2300 East Lincoln Highway in Langhorne, Pennsylvania. And make sure you say hi to me if you see me there, too. Also, we got some events coming up. This Friday, Strong Style Wrestling presents Desire from the Tolson Center, 1320 Benham Avenue in Elkhart, Indiana, 46516. Doors are open at 6. Bell time is 7. All tickets $15. Kids 10 and under, your tickets are worth $7. And the main event, WWE superstar Bushwhacker Luke will take on Hardcore Harry. In more singles action, Jake Omen will take on Remy Wilkins. In tag team action, the Painkillers will take on the Hooligans. In a triple threat match, Bolt Brady will take on Scotty Young and the debuting Mad Dragon Hakeem Zane. In singles action, Ryan Epic will take on Jinx. Big Rush Jones will take on Officer Rod Street. Mark Vandy will compete against Karn Alexander. And in tag team action, Drew Skills and Apollo Star will compete in an open challenge matchup. Also, there will be special appearances from Mr. M80 Marche Rocket, Jack Thriller, the 400-pound juggernaut Osiris, and former WWE superstar Virgil. And that's Strong Style Wrestling's Desire, Friday, March 21st from the Tolson Center, 1320 Benham Avenue, Elkhart, Indiana, 46516. Also this Friday night, First Class Wrestling presents March of Champions from Wrestletown, USA, 6972 Dixie Highway, Franklin, Ohio, 45005. Doors are open at 6:30 and bell time is 7 p.m. All tickets are $5. For the 1CW heavyweight title, Tommy T-Dog Foreman will defend against Chris Morgan. In the For the Tri-State title, Matt Vengeance will defend against Ryan Wild. The 1CW Tag Team Champions will be competing against each other in singles competition as James Hennessy goes one-on-one with Doug Charles. And in singles action, the Little Hulk, Jake Ashworth, will take on Dangerous Damian Cass. Also, there will be the Jamie Thunders Invitational Tournament. In a tag team action, Johnny H. and the Mountain Killer will take on the Golden Boy, Dan Roberson, and Nick Davidson. Razorback Ryan Freeman will be in singles action against Steve Anderson. And Dre Jacobs will go one-on-one with Blanco Warrior. The winners of those three matches will advance to a fatal four-way match where the winner will get a championship match of his choosing at any time. Also on the card, it'll be a 3-on-1 handicap match as the Outlaw takes on the members of Roach, that being Dwayne Butcher Dixon, Alan Damon Webb Jr., and Dur Starmer. Also, Ring of Honor superstar Jimmy Jacobs will find out who he will be taking on the March 28th card, and there will be a special appearance from new 1CW owner Cannabis. It's First Class Wrestling's March Champions, Friday, March 21st, from WrestleTown, USA, 6972, Dixie Highway, Franklin, Ohio, 45005. Resistance Pro Wrestling presents the Battle Rages On this Friday night from the St. Francis de Sales High School, 10155 South Ewing Avenue, Chicago, Illinois, 60617. Doors are open at 6, bell time is 7:30. Tickets for this event are $15 for general admission. For second and third row seats, they're $20. Front row seats are $25. Just so you guys know, this event is a TV taping. For the Resistance Pro Heavyweight title, Josephus will defend against Mr. M80 Marche Rocket. In singles action, the Boss, Bobby Lashley, will go one-on-one with the Ego, Robert Anthony. For the Resistance Tag Team titles, the Soul Touchers, Hot Chocolate Acid Jazz, and the Urban American Dream, Willie the Bomb Richardson, will take on the male model Ashton Vuitton in a mystery partner. The Resistance Women's Championship will be on the line in a Captain's Falls match. What this means is that if champion Darcy Dixon is pinned or forced to submit, she will lose her title to opposing captain Mickey Moose Knuckles. Now let's break down the teams. Champion Darcy Dixon will partner up with Thunder Kitty, Star Venus, Angel Dust, and the Amazing Maria James. Mickey Moose Knuckles will be partnering up with Jessie Belle Smothers, Cameron Starr, Lucy Mendez, and Devin Nicole. Also in a Pick Your Poison match, Jake O'Neill will take on Scotty the Kid Young. In a fatal four-way,
hello? Rockin' Ace, you still there, buddy? Oh, Rockin' Ace is been muted. Oh dear. So
from St. Francis de Sales High School, 10155 South Ewing Avenue, Chicago, Illinois, 60617. Also this Friday, East Coast Pro Wrestling on Fire comes to the Paramus Elks Lodge, 210 Route 17 North, in Paramus, New Jersey, 07652. Bell time for this event is 7:30 p.m. Tickets are $10 in advance, $12 at the door. In the main event for the ECPW heavyweight title, the Reinforcer Andrew Anderson will defend against Frankie Flo. For the television title, Crazy Ivan will defend against Sonny Kiss. For the tag team titles, Sam Shields and the Dominican Diablo will defend against Tony Vega and Ricky Palmer. And for the ECPW light heavyweight title, Dan the Man will defend against Matt McIntosh. In a no disqualification match, Junior Flo will take on Bandito Jr. And in a rematch, Luca will go one-on-one with Punisher. Also in attendance, you'll see the Cuban Crippler, Ricky Reyes, the Asian Assassin, Kai Katana, General Bobby Lee Walker, and Mr. Thursday Night, among other superstars. To learn more about East Coast Professional Wrestling, you can follow them at ecpw1.com or follow them on Twitter at ecpw Wrestling. It's East Coast Professional Wrestling on Fire, Friday, March 21st, from the Paramus Elks Lodge, 210, Route 17 North, Paramus, New Jersey, 07652. Also, Thing Spirit Wrestling presents FSW Lions Den from the FSW Arena at the Ludus Wrestling Center, 133 29th Street, Brooklyn, New York, 11232. Doors are open at 7, bell time's 8 p.m. All tickets are worth $20. In the main event, there will be a Lions Den 25-man battle royal. 2 men will start, and every 5 minutes, a new competitor will enter. When it gets down to 2 men, the winner will be determined by pinfall or submission, and the winner of the Lions Den Battle Royal will get a championship match of his choice. And speaking of championships, for the FSW heavyweight title, Talon will defend against the Machine, Sam Shields. For the Primero title, Benny Martinez will defend against Bandito Jr. And for the tag team titles, Rude Boy Riley and Logan Black of the Snots will defend against the opposition of Jason Nevins and Superstar Whiplash. To learn more about FSW, you can follow them at FightingSpiritWrestling.com or follow them on Twitter at FSWLudus. That's Fighting Spirit Wrestling presenting FSW Lions Den, Friday, March 21st from the FSW Arena at Ludus Wrestling Center, 133 29th Street, Brooklyn, New York, 11232. And then Saturday, March 22nd, Heroes and Legends Professional Wrestling presents Heroes and Legends 3 from the Fun Dome. 30.
Uh-oh. Ladies and gentlemen, I think ROCKIIN's phone template went loco de loco. So, yeah, until he comes back at the event center, let's watch Chris Kanyon taking on... Oh, never mind, he's back.
Sorry about that, Dougie.
That's all right. I was just going to tell the fans to watch Chris Kanyon versus Scotty Riggs.
Please, don't torture him. All right, let's see. Where are we at here? Here we go. Saturday, March 22nd, Heroes and Legends Professional Wrestling. It will be at the Fun Dome, 3330 West Coliseum Boulevard, Fort Wayne, Indiana, 46808. And this was a pretty good one because starting at 2 o'clock p.m., you can attend a fan fest there will be professional wrestling matches going on throughout the card, and you can actually get autographs from people such as Bobby the Brain Heenan, Armando Alejandro Estrada, Al Snow, Buff Bagwell, Bushwhacker Luke, Marty Jannetty, George the Animal Steele, Fred Ottman, a.k.a. Tugboat Typhoon / the Shockmaster. Also, Mo and Oscar from Men on a Mission will be there. Scotty Tuhati, Nikolai Volkov, Virgil, Trevor Murdoch, and Jesse Goddard from Big Brother and TNA will also be in the... Then, let's see what we got. At 7:30 p.m. will be the wrestling action, and for the Heroes and Legends heavyweight title, Drew Skills will defend against Al Snow. In singles action, there will be Scotty Tuhati going one-on-one with Karn Alexander. For the H&L tag team title, Jake Oman and Scotty Young will defend against Tenacious Z, Zach Gowen, and the handicapped hero, Gregory Iron. In singles action, Bushwhacker Luke will take on Roderick Street. Marty Jannetty will be in singles action to take on Eli McFly. Buff Bagwell will go one-on-one with Troy Miller. Nikolai Volkov will go one-on-one with Bobby Steele, and Mark Vandy will take on Congo Kong. And in Kong's corner will be Armando Alejandro Estrada. And there will be a special appearance by the one and only Bobby the Brain Heenan. Oh, and by the way, I forgot to tell you guys the tickets for this event. If you're just getting general admission and you're not attending the Fan Fest, your tickets will be $15 and the doors will open for you at 6:30. If you do want a general admission and you want to attend the Fan Fest, your tickets will be $25. And you could just walk on anytime after 2 o'clock. For those of you with VIP, fourth row seats are $35. Third row, $40. Second row, $45. First row is $50. Ringside table seats are $300. But there's only 4 of those. There's only like 4 sections available. So get those ringside tables, and they sit 6 per table. So get a hold of that. For $250, you can get the all-access pass, which will include a front row ticket. There will be a lanyard you can wear around your neck, so everybody can measure you got the all-access pass. You'll be able to attend a meet and greet, have a photo op with all superstars, and get an autographed poster minus vendor guests. And you'll be receiving admission to an after party. To learn more about this, you can follow HeroesAndLegendsWrestling.com or follow them on Twitter at Heroes and that's A-N Legends. The Heroes and Legends. That's the Heroes of Legends 3 presented by Heroes of Legends Professional Wrestling Saturday, March 22nd from the Fun Dome, 3330 West Coliseum Boulevard, Fort Wayne, Indiana, 46808. We have Dynamite Championship Wrestling presenting 0 Hour from the Farmington Fire Department, 20920 South DuPont Highway, Farmington, Delaware, 19950. Doors are open at 6, bell time 7. Tickets are $10 in advance, $15 at the door. Kids 4 and under, you get them for free. For the DCW Undisputed Championship, the new standard Corey Castle will defend against the King of Maryland, Skull. For the DCW No Limit Championship, the Maple Leaf Machine, Cal Storm, will defend in a triple threat match against Blaine Hudson and Brian Hardy. For the DCW Tag Team titles, the team of XTC, Mark Dragonfly Harrow and Dirty Sunny Deeds will defend against the team of Pretty Ugly. In singles action, JJ Cruz will go a one-on-one with Andrew Steele. And the Backwoods Bad Boy Muddy Waters will go one-on-one with Big Country. Follow Dynamite Championship Wrestling presenting 0 Hour Saturday, March 22nd from the Farmington Fire Department, 20920 South DuPont Highway, Farmington, Delaware, 19950. Riot Pro Wrestling will come to the Gibson Youth Center, 835 Sycamore Street, Titusville, Florida, 32780. Doors are open at 7, bell time is 7:30. Tickets are $12 for adults, $8 for kids 6 through 11, and the kids 5 and under get in for free. For the Riot Heavyweight title, Hercules Gomez will defend against Brett Giddens. For the Riot Women's Championship, Santana Garrett will defend against Chelsea Diamond. And for the Riot Tag Team titles, Aaron Epic will team with the Perfect 10, Lince Dorado, to take on the team of Josh Hess and Jason Cade. To learn more about Riot Pro Wrestling, you can follow them online at RiotProWrestling.com. That's Riot Pro Wrestling coming to the Gibson Youth Center, 835 Sycamore Street, Titusville, Florida, 32780, and that event will take place on Saturday, March 22nd. Also this Saturday, Peach State Wrestling Alliance will come to the VFW Fairgrounds, 1625 Bankhead Highway, Carrollton, Georgia, 30116. There will be a special meet and greet with former WWE and TNA heavyweight champion Jeff Hardy from 5:30 through 7 o'clock. Then, doors will open at 7:30. Bell time is 8 p.m. If you want to attend the meet and greet and catch the wrestling action, it's $13 altogether. If you just want to attend the event, it's just $10. In the main event, Jeff Hardy will take on the Georgia Junior Heavyweight Champion Adam Jacobs in non-title action. For the PWA Heritage title, Kyle Matthews will take on the undefeated French sensation Romeo. For the PWA Tag Team titles, Zach Daniels and the Wild Child Joey Kidman will defend against Nigel Sherrod and Kevin Blue. In the intergender match, Aja Pereira will go one-on-one with Ace Haven. And in singles action, the Fireman will take on Ken Lee. To learn more about Peach State Wrestling Alliance, you can follow them at PeachStateWrestlingAlliance.com. That's Peach State Wrestling Alliance, Saturday, March 22nd from the VFW Fairgrounds, 1625 Bankhead Highway, Carrollton, Georgia, 30116. And finally, New Focus Wrestling presents No Excuses from the Metro Sports Center, 5820 Metro Center Drive, Evansville, Indiana, 47715. Bell time for the event, 7:30. Tickets are $8 for general admission, $10 for ringside. For kids 5 through 12 and senior citizens, your tickets are $5. For kids 4 and younger and active military, your tickets are free. For the New Focus Heavyweight title, with special guest referee Josh Jewell, Chad Stallings will defend against Scott Sexton. For the New Focus Tri-State title, Flash Flanagan will defend in a fatal four-way match against Just John, Brandon Espinoza, and the Tempest. For the New Focus Tag Team titles, the Wrecking Crew will defend against the Untouchables. Former WWE, WCW, and ECW superstar, the Wild-Eyed Southern Boy Tracy Smothers will go one-on-one with former WWE Tag Team Champion and former NWA World Heavyweight Champion Iron Man Rob Conway. In singles action, Johnny Richards will take on current Ring of Honor superstar Cliff Compton. And in non-title action, the New Focus Women's Champion Chloe will go one-on-one with the Pink Pansy. To learn more about New Focus Wrestling, you can follow them at nfwentertainment.webs.com. That's New Focus Wrestling presenting No Excuses, Saturday, March 22nd from the Metro Sports Center, 5820 Metro Center Drive, Evansville, Indiana, 47715. Actually, I have one final card. Prairie Wrestling Alliance presents Revelation from the Century Casino Showroom, 1010 42 Avenue East, Southeast, Calgary, Alberta, Canada, T2G1Z4. Doors are open at 7. Bell time is 7:30. Adult tickets are $17 in advance, $20 at the door. For teens, kids, and seniors, your tickets are $12 in advance, $15 at the door. For the PWA Canadian Tag Team titles, Team Hall of Fame, Duke Durango and Chris Steele will defend against the team of Brandon Van Danielson and the PWA Original Marky. In a non-title match, PWA Heavyweight Champion Azrael will take on Sheik Akbar Shabazz. In more singles action, Richie Rage will take on Priest. Brody Malibu will go one-on-one with Michael Richard Blaze. Travis Cole will go one-on-one with Derek Cross. And in tag team action, the Killer Bees, Hollywood Dusty Adonis and Dylan Knight will take on the team of Chase Patrick and Kenny Stryker. To learn more about Prairie Wrestling Alliance, you can follow them at pwawrestling.ca or follow them on Twitter at pwawrestlingca. That's Prairie Wrestling Alliance presenting Revelation, Saturday, March 22nd from the Century Casino Showroom, 1010 42nd Avenue Southeast, Calgary, Alberta, Canada, T2G1Z4. Those are our cards for the weekend, and do remember all cards are indeed subject to change. let's get into it. Tonight, we are celebrating one of the biggest wrestling anniversaries ever because we are celebrating the 20th anniversary of one of the most prolific matches in wrestling history. I am talking about the ladder match from WrestleMania 10. Oh. Ew. Dougie.
I thought it was Owen Hart and Bret Hart we were going to talk about, man.
Yeah. I would have loved to celebrate that one too, but can you believe it has been 20 years since the infamous ladder match at WrestleMania 10?
I feel old now. Thank you. Actually, I can because if you watch it now and now today, it's like, man, Shawn Michaels is retired and lives in the woods, and Razor Ramon is finally off drugs for the first time in 20 plus years.
Had to go personal, didn't you?
Yep.
Yeah, but I gotta ask you, like, when you look back at this match, like, what was it that you look at from your feelings watching it then compared to watching it now?
My feelings when I watched it as a kid was, and remember, this was the first time I think for a lot of people in the United States, this was the first ladder match, unless you count the Michaels Bret Hart house show one. But they did a great job, and it was a great match. And now my feeling about it is, I kind of put it in the category of Hulk Hogan versus The Rock. The ladder match should have been the main event at WrestleMania 10 because, let's be honest, as much as I love Yokozuna, as much as I respect Bret Hart, what's the only two matches anybody remembers from that pay-per-view? The ladder match or the opening match? Everything else is forgotten.
And that is kind of a good point there, but I was like, for me, here's what I actually gotta admit. Like, I actually thought the match was longer than what I remembered it being because there was just like so many times where it looked like Razor was going to go or Shawn was going to go, and just the simplicity of the hits that they executed with the ladder just made it seem like the match went longer than I remember it now.
To be honest, I can't even tell you how long that match went, but they actually were able to do something that many people have tried and haven't been able to do since. Actually make the ladder actually feel like it's a part of the match instead of, just there to be there. I mean, and what I mean by that is before somebody says, oh, but all those other ladder matches, this was the ladder match that the ladder actually may have been more important than the two people wrestling in it, where another match is like, let's say, Triple H versus The Rock ladder match. If there wasn't a ladder in there, would we really care about that match?
Well, considering how personal that match was, yeah, I think you still might.
Well, I think my point's coming across. I don't know, but the ladder was probably more important. I mean, to a certain extent, could anybody have done that back then? No, but I think it would be hard, maybe could it have been done with other people? No, I mean, but the ladder is the key part of that whole thing. To take the ladder out, I don't think it would have been as great as a match.
Yeah, and here's another point with the ladder match is that what also made this interesting is that, remember, that to win, you had to grab both Intercontinental titles. And here's the thing, you may get one, but then you can, still knock your opponent off. And then, then that leaves the other belt as fair game now.
Yeah, I forgot that one because they hung Michael's version of the belt and Razor Ramon's version of the belt. And in case, because Black and Reese, I know you and me are intelligent people, right?
Yeah.
Just in case if there's someone out there asking why were both belts up there, for the ones who don't remember the story, Michaels was originally, I believe, suspended for some reason. They did a Battle Royal on Monday Night Raw. Razor would end up winning the Battle Royal, then defeating Rick Martel for the Intercontinental title. Michaels comes back and says, no, I'm still Intercontinental Champion. I haven't lost it. So this was pretty much to determine who was the undisputed Intercontinental Champion, if I recall.
You'd be correct on that. Just for the record, yeah, Michaels was suspended for, yeah, well, the storyline reason was he was suspended for not defending the title, like after SummerSlam.
Yeah, I can't remember. I couldn't remember the storyline reason. I think the real reason was it was either a failed drug test or he pissed somebody off or did something wrong. Something wrong.
They said he failed a drug test.
That doesn't surprise me. Back then, anyway, with how he was.
Yeah, but then again, just to give a minor correction, to explain how the Martel incident, because what happened was in the Battle Royal, it was the last two men that were left in the ring. They would advance to the following Monday Night Raw and then compete against each other for the belt. So, but other than that, yeah, your story was correct.
Woohoo!
Cool. But I do gotta admit, like, going back for this one, that, and plus, you know what happened, what also made this match interesting? Is if you go to, like, some of their build-up in between, how many people Michaels inadvertently cost the Intercontinental title.
Yes, because if I remember, he cost a lot of people the belt, I think. I mean, oh, God, I remember the match that Razor Ramon versus IRS at the Rumble. I thought that, to me, to be honest, I thought IRS, I thought he was going to win it, but then, well, we saw how that went.
Yeah, Shawn always left his version of the belt behind, and then when the referee went to go get the other one while the supposed new champion was celebrating, here it is.
Yeah, so Mike was the one thing good about that storyline. Mike was kept screwing over whoever Razor faced, which I kind of found ironic. Granted, that would be a few weeks after WrestleMania 10 that Michaels would screw Razor over and become a new Intercontinental Champion.
Yeah, or at least help Diesel.
Yeah, Big Daddy Cool, and how can I forget about him? Wasn't he at ringside for a little bit of that match?
Huh?
At WrestleMania 10.
Yeah, actually. Yeah, he was there, but then he clotheslined Razor behind the referee's back, and then I was like, then when the ref turned around, he just saw him step over Razor, and it was like, then Earl Hebner ejected him.
Yeah, that's right. But you know what my favorite thing about this, more than anything else?
Yeah.
This match was not a part of the Attitude Era. This was a part of that early 90s thing where it was still a little goofy, still a little bit family-oriented. So it's like, yeah, you know, one of the few things the Attitude Era fans can't claim.
Yeah, that's right. We're still in the new generation at that point in time.
Yeah, because this...
Actually, WrestleMania 10 was the beginning of the new generation.
Yeah, because wasn't that... I think I was like... Yeah, because that was still, I think, we weren't even a year yet to Hulk Hogan leaving yet. Yoko was still champion. Oh, God. Look, it's ironic if you look who the champions were then and who they are now. Good Lord. Bret Hart was champion. Razor was champion. And I believe the tag team champions were the, who was it? It was the
Quebecers.
The Mounties. The Quebecers or the Mounties, whatever you want to call them.
But you know, the thing that was amazing about this is that I think, like, WrestleMania 10 to me, and I know a lot of people have historically said this about Shawn Michaels when it comes to WrestleMania, but literally, this match was the standard bearer in this. Was that even though Razor was the man who won that match, Michaels' performance elevated him so much that even though he lost, he wound up looking, if not better than, equally as good as Razor did.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the few times the old saying proves to be true. Even in a loss, you can look like a winner.
Mm.
But
yeah, and then like
I'm thinking,
sorry,
keep going. No, I was going to let you keep going. Yeah, I'm thinking something.
All right. Yeah, and there's one of the amazing things about this is that yeah, when you look at ladder matches and how they've progressed since then, it's like, it's hard to believe that, yeah, with Michaels and Razor took like this unusual concept, well, at least here in the United States it was unusual because as you brought up, it was, yeah, this is the first time this was on television, second time it ever happened in the WWE. Because, of course, like 2 years earlier, as you mentioned, Michaels and Bret Hart had one at a house show. But, you know what? I think what makes this ladder match stand out is because at that point in time, it was something new to WWE television at that point in time. So it was like, we had no aspect like what role the ladder was going to actually play in this, and how the athletes were going to adjust to not only using the ladder as a weapon, but taking hits from the ladder.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, because I think a lot of people, back then, a lot of people were worried because they didn't know how violent this could have been, because this was technically the second ladder match in WWE, like you said and I said, and we didn't know what would happen. I mean, one wrong move from either one of them could have not been walking. So they were extremely careful, but it was also exciting though, because they did take a little risk, but not in the risk of, holy crap, they're not going to walk again.
And then, although there were like a few times like within it, because like late in the match when the ladder was starting to like twist and bend or whatever, I was like, how they're gonna match a climbing this one now, because they like smacked the heck out of each other so badly that it was like the ladder was looking more bent than they were.
Yeah, I mean, but luckily the ladder was able to stay good long enough for Razor to win the match, but if that match would have went any longer, that ladder might have snapped. But,
well, I think eventually it did in their rematch.
Yeah, it did in the rematch at SummerSlam the following year, but what's amazing about that match from WrestleMania 10 is look how many people use that match to say that's where they got into the business, like the Hardys. I believe Agent Krishna posted it was one of their favorite matches of all time. It's because of that match that a lot of people wanted to join the business. So, one of those flagship reasons.
Mm-hmm. Or look at how many guys, like, when they compete in their first ladder match, like, saw that as their like go-to example to like get ideas for themselves, like for their other, like I've known Chris Jericho when he had his match, he often cited that one, and then again we all know like Jericho is a huge Shawn Michaels fan in the first place, so
definitely. And I think what's best about this Intercontinental title match, and this is one of the few Intercontinental title matches that was more important than any other match on the card. I mean, it's right up there with Steamboat and Savage to me. You know, it's one of the. It's like Steamboat and Savage is one, and then right below them, it's probably Michaels and Razor in second.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was about to say, like, yeah, and there's actually another key thing is, like, that match was probably more talked about than, like I said, it was probably, like I said, as you brought up, that match actually wound up stealing the thunder off of Brett and Owen in the opening match.
Mm-hmm. I mean, like I said, you know, like you just said, you know, it stole the thunder from Brett and Owen, but Brett and Owen are still talked about it. People forget there were other good matches. There was other matches, like Savage versus Crush. That was a pretty decent match. I believe we saw the Quebecers versus Men on a Mission on that same card. Bam Bam and Luna would get their revenge on Doink and Dink, and Yoko had 2 matches that night, which people forget that. Yoko may have been big, but he actually looked pretty decent in both of his title defenses, but those got pushed to the wayside because of the ladder match.
And of course, now that you look back at it, and now here we are, like 20 years later. Oh, actually, tomorrow being the actual 20th anniversary of this match. And you think of where we've come, not just as far as the WWE goes, but look at TNA with their Ultimate the Ultimate X. And as a matter of fact, it was interesting that Mike Tenay even related this, that in one of the early matches, he actually talked about when Michael Sheen was competing. They said, "Isn't it appropriate that on the 10-year anniversary of the Shawn Razor ladder match, then we have Michael Sheen competing in Ultimate X."
Yeah, I forgot that. That his, I think it was his nephew, I think?
I think cousin.
Cousin, one of the two. Yeah, I forgot. Ultimate X is, in a way, you could kind of say it is like the ladder match in a way. I mean, I always thought the King of the Mountain was TNA's answer to ladder matches, but...
Yeah, and then, like, even with the... Yeah, and then, not to mention, even going to Ring of Honor, in fact, to give a plug for their upcoming card with the Ladder Wars coming up. I believe
yes. No, it's not
Saturday next Saturday.
It's going to be that Ladder War match is going to be on the Super Card of Honor, which I believe.
April 5th.
Yeah, so it'll be a few days before Mania.
Yeah.
Because, of course, the pay-per-view Saturday is flying high.
Yeah, and then, of course, one extra thing will be like, yeah, and then one extra thing, like, what do you think was the legacy of that, like, both? Do you think, like, sadly, with, for Razor, that this match was his legacy match?
You know, I've made no bones about it. I'm not the biggest Scott Hall fan, but that ladder match will probably be one of the only 2 things he's ever remembered for, is that ladder match and the NWO. Other than that, as much as I hate saying it, he probably won't be remembered for too much else.
And then, of course, Michael cemented his Mr. WrestleMania status, or started to cement it with that ladder match. And then, of course, he would go on to, like, greater things all throughout. But to me, here's what I like to say with that ladder match. I think it was just too fitting to have it at Madison Square Garden because, let's face it, Madison Square Garden is perhaps the most historic wrestling venue, bar none, anywhere in the world.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just like, to see what we saw And now for it to here it is 20 years later, and it's still standing the test of time. It's just something that literally, if you were in the arena on March 20th, 1994, you left with something that you had no idea what the real value was, even if, because now you look back at it as like, man, I knew I saw history, but I didn't think it was going to be anything of this magnitude, though.
Yeah, I mean, because we always hear about some of the worst Mania matches, because, God, we could go through a long list for that, but it's very hard to pinpoint them, and this is what Michaels and REESE did during that very selected class of Mania matches that are still remembered and talked about for good reason. There ain't that many of them.
Yeah, that is true. Oh, anyways, I think it's weird, man. Let me check. Anyways, Douglas, what do you got coming up Friday for the main event?
For the main event this week, of course, we're going to go over Raw, main event, SmackDown, TNA probably. But we're going to be doing our big pay-per-view prediction show because this Saturday is Ring of Honor's Flying High, and we're going to be discussing some of the matches that are taking place that night and make our predictions, and particularly for the AJ Styles versus Chris Hero match that is happening this Saturday.
Awesome. And, of course, if you want to catch the main event, just call in 760-569-7676, access 200-446#, and do that 30 minutes after SmackDown goes off the air Friday night. Matter of fact, don't forget all of our shows. We have Uncensored 30 minutes after Raw. We have the Overload Tuesday at 10:30 Eastern, 9:30 Central. Of course, Ring Rockers will be on Wednesdays. Check for time on that one. We're usually on at 10 Eastern, 9 Central. If we have our All Indie special, which is, by the way, next week, but I'll get into that in a moment. Then, of course, we have, right after I go off the air, we have Sex Battles at 11:30 Eastern, 10:30 Central with DJ Gator. Of course, Thursdays we have the TNA Recipe 30 minutes after Impact. And like I said, if you want to be a part of any of our shows, call 760-569-7676, access 200-446#. Hit that pound key or else you're not going to be able to listen to the show. Also, don't forget to follow us on Twitter at WCC Live. Don't forget we're also on Facebook. The name of the group is Wrestling Commentary Central. If you can't, there's only one page. If you can't find it, I don't know what to do for you. Also, check out WCC Live. And if you're a wrestling promotion or group, don't forget to check us out, WCC 24/7 International Wrestling Promotions. Let's see. Oh, you know what? I also got to give a wrestling shout-out, too. Last month on our independent show, we had number one contender AIWF superstar Justin Overstreet on the show. And you know what? He made the challenge to Salem Center 6 right here on Ring Rockers. I am proud to announce this Saturday, March 22nd, in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, at the Exports Mall. The match will happen. AIWF World Heavyweight title. Salem Center 6 will defend against Justin Overstreet. Hey, apparently somebody from AIWF must have been listening to the show because they made the match happen. So, Street, good luck, my brother. Hope you can bring the belt home. Go tear it up down to Myrtle Beach this Saturday night. And next week, and hopefully next week, I will have my co-host, Rob Gosselin, on back again because he actually was the one who made this show happen for next week. Because we will have a special guest, Mike the Match Hart. This man is the grandson of the one and only Stu and Helen Hart. Of course, he is the son of the eldest of the 12 Hart children, Smith. So we will have him on the show. Also, we will have former WWE, Ring of Honor, and TNA superstar, the Ontarian Cyborg, Tyson Dukes, will be joining us as well. You guys may have saw him as a member of Team Canada during the 2006 TNA World X Cup. He was also on the 2008 Team International squad in that World X Cup as well. So, yeah, we will have both Mike Hart and Tyson Dukes on the show next week. And remember, our all independent shows are at 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 Central. So make sure you keep that time frame up for that. And in 2 weeks' time, yeah,
we're gonna have two Canadians on the show next week. I'm gonna get all my Canadian jokes written down for next week.
Well, 3 if Rob shows up. Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's still one.
Yeah.
Oh wait, you just said one guy was a part of Team Canada.
Yeah.
So
yeah, he was. Yeah, he was with Team Canada in 2006.
I wonder if she likes being a part of Team Canada. Interesting.
Yeah, well, you know, like occasionally they brought like some people in for like to be specialists or whatever.
Oh yeah.
But anyway, and also in 2 weeks' time, yeah, guess what? We're going back-to-back weeks prime time because in 2 weeks we will have our big WrestleMania special, and I'm going to have something real hot because, as you know, it's WrestleMania 30 in a couple weeks. So I'm going to have something real hot for you guys then. And also, I'm going to drop a little bonus bombshell. I got a WrestleMania overload for you in this one because a WrestleMania caliber overload. I'm going to be in charge of that face-off. And if you thought the one that Sean did a couple weeks ago was a headache causer, yeah, y'all know my history with face-off. So I'm going to really have you scratching your heads in a couple weeks. Yeah, so I'm just going to give you guys a little heads up on that one right now.
In better words, everyone will be saying, "Man, fuck you, Reese."
Hey, well, like I said, y'all know I'll put together them real good matches. And like I said, and actually, I'm going to give you a hint. You were on our time machine episode last week, right, Dougie?
Yeah, I remember the DeLorean and the Mr. Peabody machine.
Yeah, well, I'm already going to tip a one off. You remember my comments I had about Stan Lane?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, well, I'm going to let you know there is a twist to that match, and you will find that out. But like I said, that will be on Overload the Tuesday before WrestleMania, I believe. That will actually be April Fool's Day.
Yeah, that would be April Fool's Day. That's wonderful.
Tim. All right. Well, that'd be our show for tonight. I want to thank Mr. Friday Night, Doug Barrett, and of course catch him, Captain Ron, and Kara every Friday night, as I said, on the main event, 30 minutes after SmackDown. Of course, want to say hey to our CEO, Mr. Team Bring It, and our executive producer, El.CIBERNETICO. I am ROCKIIN REESE. And, of course, this is the show where the music and the wrestling talk never stop, WCC Ring Rockers. Thanks for tuning in. We will see you next week for our all-independent show for March 2014. Sex Battles is coming up next. Take care, everybody. Good night.